Mingalava. Now I would like to talk about my intermittent fasting journey that I wrote in parts, part A, part B, part C, and so on. So I would like to start with part A. Part A, my story, intermittent fasting journey story, part A is focused on my teenage and my young adult experience. So now I'm wearing this turtleneck short sleeve that my father bought it for me when I was 17 or 18 years old. So now I'm 50 years old now, and I still keep it well because my father passed away when I was 21 years old, and since then, since I lost my father, um, I could not have any present for him after his passing. So the presents he gave them to me when he was alive were so precious to me. So I kept it well, and now I'm wearing this turtleneck short sleeve. So when I was young, when I was wearing this short sleeve turtleneck, I I this is my style when I was young. So this short sleeve, I make a small fold. Yeah, so my intermittent fasting journey, part A, please let me talk about it. So when I was young, I learned about and practiced intermittent fasting in 2 or 3 occasions at a meditation center back home in Burma. I would fast for a short period, at the maximum 10 days each time, and each day I stuck to the fasting hours of Buddhism, that is from noon until dawn of the next day. However, as a teenager, I really could not realize its benefits. In my 20s and 30s, I even thought that I could never practice intermittent fasting at all from that age onwards. It was in the summer of 2017 that I eventually had to tolerate hunger pain because of illness. This experience of being unwell and unable to eat allowed me to better appreciate the benefits of intermittent fasting, additionally preparing me to adopt intermittent fasting as a lifestyle choice. Regarding the fasting hours, some studies have reported that only 14 hours fasting is needed for women. I remember that it took me a few weeks to stick to even 12 hours, let alone the 16 hours fast that Buddhists, specifically monks, nuns, yogis, and laymen on the Sabbath practice regularly. Therefore, I am inspired if someone can manage at the very first stage of this behavior adoption more than 12 hours a day. For me, during the first month of practicing, I observed and felt the benefits after I reached 15 hours of fasting. Now I am quite able to tolerate up to 18 to now I am able to tolerate up to 72 hours. But when I wrote that part A, at the time it was around 2020. So at the time I wrote that, now I am quite able to tolerate up to 18 to 19 hours, although this is only on rare occasions. When completing 16 hours, I felt the benefits very well. My belly fat disappeared and I could not be happier. I have never thought that I would have a body weight of 120 pounds in my early 40s. In my 30s, I had been a bit chubby. I was often mistaken for being pregnant. A few years ago at a dollar store in Columbia, South Carolina, I went to the washroom and I took some time. When I came out of the washroom, the staff seemed relieved, since they were worried that I had been delivering a baby inside and wondered whether they should knock on the washroom door. On the bus back home, some people gave up their seat for me since they wanted to give priority to the pregnant woman. I have found it helpful to share my funny stories as a way to motivate and entertain my peers who may have had similar experiences or who may want to try intermittent fasting. These two articles, one from IdeaPod and one from NCBI, these two articles and the information they provide were touching to me at the start of my intermittent fasting practice and to motivate me to keep practicing. Although I could not and did not aim to practice 72 hours fasting, I found the research findings on 72 hours fast intriguing, since I have a strong family history of lung cancer and breast cancer from my father's side, and I have been wanting to reduce this unpreventable genetic risk. Why 72-hour fast? Why 72-hour fast can generate our immune cells and our immune system completely? Even intermittent fasting for 16 hours can still significantly prevent and reduce the risks of many types of cancers, according to the scientific research study. The aforementioned two articles from IdeaPod and NCBI are the title of the article of IdeaPod is 72-hour fasting triggers immune system regeneration, USC study finds. And yeah, that article was published in February 2018. And another inspiring article from NCBI is Prolonged Fasting Reduces IGF-1 pKa to Promote Hematopoietic Stem Cell Based Regeneration and Reverse Immunosuppression. That's from NCBI and it was published in June 2015. The authors are Chia Wei Cheng, Gregory Adams, Laura Perrin, and Min Wei et al. So these two articles were inspiring to me when I started intermittent fasting. When reading a story about a primary care physician, PCP, from Massachusetts, I was touched by his sister's battle with ovarian cancer. This story was touching to me since I was severely affected by troublesome submucosal fibroid and endometriotic ovarian cysts in 2016. My fibroid and cyst were removed after undergoing conservative surgery. Based on my previous women's health history, gynecological history, I was motivated to adopt and adhere to intermittent fasting as a way to prevent potential cancers. Also, I noticed that my concerns for women's health were reduced after I adopted the health behavior of intermittent fasting. I have been concerned for the recurrence of my troublesome submucosal fibroid and chocolate cysts. Since the female hormone estrogen is much related to body fat, I do believe that intermittent fasting is beneficial to my women's health concerns. And also I included in my writing, I included another useful resource from Johns Hopkins University. Intermittent fasting, what is it, and how does it work? So when you read my article in Medium, you will see that the link of those resources. Thank you.